time 7:01 off to traffic and transit now in Jeff McKay.
Well, we're definitely seeing some improvement over the Holland Tunnel. Let's start there with a look at the bridges and tunnels. Right now, the Holland Tunnel looks like the traffic now forms below Houston Street and below King Street on your way in. So you're looking at about a 15-minute, let's say that closer to 20-minute delay getting out of the city. Westbound Canal Street's actually going to be a little bit worse than that. The Lincoln Tunnel, though, much improved going Jersey bound. The approaches to the GW Bridge are starting to get better, but there's still a couple we got to keep an eye on. Cross Bronx Expressway is going to be about a 25-minute ride making your way over from the area of the Bronx River Parkway. West Side Highway, though, much improved. The Major Deegan has leftover traffic. Remember, you got the Yankee game, and right now across the East River, getting into the tolls of both the Frog's Neck and the Whitestone Bridge is going to be a little bit slow. We still have delays also in the Bronx on the Bronx River Parkway, especially northbound, getting through 233rd Street as you head toward Wakefield. And watch out for company right now in New Jersey as you travel the Garden State Parkway southbound. They have an accident off to the side in the area by exit 136 as you come down to Clark. The regional rails, you still have delays on New Jersey Transit trains on the North Jersey coastline. I'm Jeff McKay. The next report, 7-11, 10-10 winds on 92.3 FM.
It looks like we're in for a decent weekend weather-wise, at least after the threat of rain finally passes. Let's check in first off with AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson for the latest. Brian?
The weekend will start off with a lot of clouds tomorrow, and there will be some rain first thing tomorrow, but that rain will move out pretty early, and we'll see improving weather into the afternoon. We'll see some sunshine return. Temperatures will get back into the 60s tomorrow afternoon, and then more in the way of sunshine for Sunday. A pretty nice day. It will be a little bit cooler, but a high temperature still close to 60. So after a little bit of rain first thing tomorrow, most of the weekend will turn out dry.
And, of course, stick with 10-10 winds at 92.3 FM for the latest on the forecast from AccuWeather all weekend. Well, a full jury has now been seated at the Trump hush money trial, regulars and alternates. That clears the way for opening statements this Monday in the very first criminal trial of a former American president. However, a more dramatic story unfolded outside the courtroom in Lower Manhattan today after a man set himself on fire. It was mayhem, and onlookers say they didn't see it coming.
Maxwell Azzarillo walked into Collect Pond Park, took papers from a book bag, then took out a canister.
It appeared to be some kind of alcohol-based substance that's used for cleaning,
which he poured on himself before setting himself on fire. Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny says the papers had propaganda and conspiracy theories on them. William Scheffler saw the whole thing.
It was almost unbelievable to actually comprehend that someone would burn themselves, so it was very hard to understand until you start seeing it as a lighter.
He says the man was on fire for 2 or 3 minutes. Officers and others ran in and used their coats to try and stop out the flames. Meanwhile, authorities are looking at the man's social media.
It appears that he did post something in regards to this event prior to the incident.
Azzarillo is in critical condition. Mac Rosenberg's 10-10 wins on 92.3 FM at Manhattan Criminal Court.
Azzarillo is 37 years old and from St. Augustine, Florida. He's now in critical condition. The NYPD says it's not clear if the incident was related in any way to the Trump trial. Meanwhile, inside the courtroom, the remaining alternate jurors were picked today from a pool of dozens.
The 5 alternate jurors seated Friday included a mother of 2 and a woman who was originally from Spain. They both said they have no strong opinions on the former president. One alternate's originally from Texas. Another had a father who was once convicted of a federal crime. The only man among the 6 alternates said Donald Trump is a man just like I am.
Correspondent Brian Clark. An appeals court, meanwhile, has turned away Trump's last-minute bid to halt the trial. The judge rejected the former president's claim that jury selection was unfairly rushed. The former president is accused of paying hush money to Stormy Daniels so the adult film star wouldn't go public during his 2016 presidential campaign with her story of their sexual encounter. Also today, the state attorney general's office asked a judge to effectively void the $175 million bond posted by Trump while he appeals that massive judgment in his civil business fraud case. Lawyers for Letitia James claim the insurer that's backing the bond doesn't have enough collateral to cover the judgment if Trump loses his appeal, and the firm isn't even authorized to do business in New York, they say. Well, no arrests yet after a man was set on fire during a fight in the Bronx. Police say it happened Thursday night shortly after 11 on East 159th Street. 2 men had squared off, according to investigators, when one of them threw rubbing alcohol on the other guy and then lit it up. The 39-year-old victim is now in stable condition with burns to his face and head. 2 others suffered minor burns as well, trying to put out the flames. The victim and suspect knew each other, according to police. Law enforcement is about to get some new tools to put black market cannabis shops out of business, like padlocking the front door. Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams teaming up today to share the details.
Mayor Adams showed up at Governor Hochul's press conference with a padlock in his hand.
All right. Mayor, let's hold up the padlock there.
She says a padlock is just one thing the Sheriff's Office and the NYPD is going to use to shut down illegal pot shops once and for all, and they have a 5-point plan to stop it.
All we have to do is verify that you're selling products not tested or labeled in accordance with our laws.
The new law is also warning bodega owners. If you're caught selling illegal cannabis of any kind, you're at risk of losing it all.
New York State can revoke tobacco, liquor, and lottery licenses.
Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Murray Hill.
Now, the slow rollout of licensed weed dispensaries has led to a spike in illegal shops, apparently eager to fill that void. Earlier education and child care programs like pre-K and 3K are no longer on the chopping block here in the city. The mayor has announced plans to restore giant spending cuts.
After angering parents with severe cuts to pre-K and subsidized child care, Mayor Adams said the budget will include more than $500 million in city and state funds.
Our administration is stepping up to fund these programs with permanent city and state dollars, including pre-K and 3K programs.
Promising a seat for any child who needs it. Speaker Adrian Adams had called for a reversal of the mayor's cuts.
They need our full support now more than ever. Disruptions in learning have set our students back, particularly students who live in low-income communities and in temporary housing.
The funding will also make it easier for New Yorkers to apply for subsidized child care. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Now, previously, these programs were funded by pandemic aid, which is expiring. The executive budget will be released next week. Well, as state budget negotiations in Albany hit the home stretch, Governor Hochul is making a last-minute push to extend mayoral control of the city's public schools for Mayor Adams. Some lawmakers are okay with extending the mayor's control, but say it shouldn't be part of budget negotiations. But Governor Hochul appears to be sticking to her guns on this.
I want stability in this city. I want parents and children, teachers to know that the governance mechanism that's been in place for many, many years will not be politicized. It will not be a political football for the next few months. And I think that's what we came around to, is the agreement.
A recent report from the State Education Department found public support for stronger checks on mayoral control, which only came about after rampant corruption in dozens of local school boards. Winds News Time 7:09. We'll have traffic and AccuWeather after this.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you. With Allstate, not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else?